slow. Okay, looks like that's working. Let me get some music playing. Gotta get my playlists back situated again. Okay, so this is connected. Okay, so that's showing the YouTube and the thing. Okay. Hey, L! Good to see you! Good to see you. Let me get this. There's the button I want. Okay. Copy. Oh. Where's that window? Wait. What did I press? Hey, Nabiru. Hello, Nabiru. How do I... It is weird trying to figure out how all this works again. Oh, what's happening that you're not happy about? Okay. And what? Okay. Okay, and then I do that. I'm gonna move this over here. Oh, okay. Hey, it's all right. Don't mean to upset you at all. Just getting everything situated. Had to update a lot of things. Hey, LeMay, good to see you. Sorry if I missed you. I was trying to fix some things about, well, my settings. And I was trying to fix a bunch of things with my settings, and it has been an interesting experience. Why is this? Okay, that's working now. Good. Hello, testing. Okay, that's working. So, last time I streamed, which was forever ago, I had an issue where, my, model's mouth wasn't moving, so I had to like re-download an older version of my my VTuber software, and I just updated again today, and I was like, okay, I'm actually gonna figure out why this isn't happening, and I figured it out. It's that the updated thing added new features, and one of the features was to track mouth movement by camera instead of microphone, and that is set to on by default, but my camera isn't compatible with that feature. So, or like it just wasn't picking up my mouth movements, but like my eye movements are picking up, like it's picking up my blinking, and like all of my stuff is more expressive. I'll show you once I change screens in a second. But it looks like we're about to have Twitch ads. So let me, okay, so that's there. Is this, here. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to like the stream. It helps the algorithm with getting it out to more people, and it helps with lots of things. If you're watching, okay, I know ad is about to play. Okay, and then what was I gonna look at? Oh, you made a post, L. Well, I'm gonna check now. Let's see. I'm not gonna talk about a lot of drama stuff, but I'll take a look. I always have trouble finding your YouTube channel. L. Let's see if I can I click on your name? Can I? Why can't I not just click to go to your channel from YouTube? Oh wait, go to channel. There's the button. All right, let me see. Let's see what your post is. So I see the thing about Gura and the Dodgers. And I don't mean to laugh like, you know, it's, oh, 31 minutes ago. Oh, that's the other post. Okay. Nudra. What the heck? What? I don't. I don't know how to process that, because that's really messed up that this person did that. Yeah, the Gura Dodgers thing, Nabaru. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Looks like we're back from ads. Okay, let's see how this all pans out. Okay, whoop. Set that to live chat. Sports rivalries. Hey, you do what you do. You do what you do. Let me change screens. Actually, I'm going to go use the restroom, and then we're going to get started, okay? Alrighty. But the D&D campaign should have guns. Oh my gosh, L. All right, let me get to just chatting. Is this gonna work? All right, hey. Getting some hydrate on. Okay, so yeah, I have the tracking on my model updated. Let me do something real quick. Here we go. No. Okay, filters, outline. I think you remember, I think you did mention your campaign a while back. so I'm gonna remove this. Okay. Let me see. All right, let me see what this looks like now. Is my model working? What is showing in? Okay, well, that's weird. Okay, okay. I went to check on YouTube and it was like not showing. I was like, what in the world? Goodness gravy. Okay, so I got that situated. Okay. Got that situated. Now let me try this. There was... Okay, cool. All right. So apparently my thing has a thing where I can show... I can add an outline in my... I can add an outline in my VTubing software, even if I don't do it through my OBS, which should help with making OBS a little bit easier to run. Okay. What have you got here? Player used a brick and rocks and a ton of damage. Character got... Oh, okay. Sounds like a wild ride. So, let me see. Yeah, that's cool, but I will say I do want to keep the chat as safe for work as possible. So please don't reference like explicit things in chat if you can. Like, yeah. I'm not gonna like ban you or anything. It's not like it's just let me get I'm not questioning that that's what happened. I'm not questioning that at all. All right, there we go. I'm not questioning that that happened at all. It's just like we don't need to talk about it. Yeah. Hey, Alice. All right. Wow. Came back. My model's more mobile than it was before. There's actual like movement. That's cool. And I got the mouth movement working. That's nice. That's a step up. Yeah, I don't need to know that, L. I really don't. I know what you meant. I'm sorry your shoulder hurts. Anywho. let's get into it. So, everybody, let me just give you some quick updates about what's been going on in my life. I was kind of in the middle of a depressive episode. I wasn't really feeling motivated to stream. Oh yeah, your art looked really great, Elle. Like, it was very emotional. And so, but some things are turning up, some things are kind of like, bleh, you know. I'm doing the best I can with what I've got, as I always do. And I haven't been doing a whole lot of writing, LeMay, which is what I'm going to work on tonight. We're going to be working on getting some writing done tonight. Been playing a lot of Honkai Star Rail, dealing with, like, kind of climbing out of depression a little bit. But good news, I have a bed now. I haven't had a bed in like years. Like for the last over a year, I'd say I've been sleeping on a recliner, and it's been this whole thing because this charity does this thing where, like, you can sign up to get like furniture and stuff. And I signed up when I first moved into this place about 2 years ago. And at the time I was sleeping on an air mattress, but I wasn't like, it just, I don't know if the application got lost. I just kind of had to bounce around and get stuff situated. But they didn't just bring me a bed. They gave me bed, and like some blankets and sheets and pillows, and also they brought me a chair, some chairs, some tables, as well as some supplies for my kitchen. And it was really funny. I was opening up the packet of flavoring to put in my water bottle, and I grabbed my knife to use to open the packet. And I was like, I had just finished opening the packet when I remembered. I'm like, oh yeah, those people gave me a pair of scissors. I'm like, I should remember to use that more often. Yeah, it's been a lot. Like, sleeping on a bed it's so weird because, like, okay, so just to give you kind of a quick rundown, for about like last year and a half ish, I've been sleeping on a recliner. And before that, for like the last, I don't know, 3 years, I'd say, I've been sleeping on various air mattresses. And I think there was like one time when I stayed at an Airbnb and I slept on a bed for like a week-ish. And so it's just sleeping on a solid surface is like taking a little bit of getting used to. It's a little bit of an experience. I need to adjust the like stuff on my model because my character's eyes keep going like all over the place. But this tracking is so much more powerful than it was before. Holy cow. Sorry, I know I keep going back to that, but like it is just blowing my mind. Like, it is actually like tracking my eyes. It did not used to be able to do that. It used to before just sit staring forward and blinking. Yes, thank you, Nabiru. I gotta update all the settings on all of my models and like do the stuff. Oh, that reminds me. Vroid Studio got an update. Let me see. No, I'm not going to download the Vroid Studio update while I'm streaming. I can go in there and tinker with my model. I haven't done that in forever. Goodness gravy. Why are you charging your phone with a laptop charger, L? Let's see, what do I do here? Settings. Ah, there we go. That's the button I wanted to fix. I don't know what that is. Okay. Okay. And motion. Just like figuring out the settings here. Oh, there's effects and stuff. Huh, that's funny. I can change the thickness of my outline. What is... Oh, that's what that is. Okay, I don't need that. Okay. I can put new motions in into this thing, so I can have some preset motions and stuff. Excuse me. Okay. Anyway. Now that my model is going to not be on top of everything, so I can actually do stuff. Let's get down to business. You demand motivation, L. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the setting that these characters. So I put in the thing that I made some D&D characters. I have been playing off and on in the same D&D setting, a D&D 5e setting, for like the last few years. I took about a year off, and the campaign's still going, and I'm like steadily re-entering the campaign. The DM has put a lot of like effort into the world, and like it's a lot. And there are some things that I think really add to the setting and create an interesting scenario for my characters to like develop and grow. I am playing a Warforged character. Warforged are living constructs. I'm a mech. I love mech things. I love robots, and all that jazz, right? And I always love the chance to play as robots, because in a lot of ways that deals with some of my like own personal ideology and stuff. Like I always like very much identified with the stories of the golem, and feeling a lot of times like I exist to help others and not so much to help myself. Like dealing with some of that stuff in that form. And I remember when the Warforged was being converted to 5e, there were like multiple play tests of them testing different variations and versions of the Warforged, and I played some of those play tests. And very shortly after the official Warforged was released in 5e, Oh goodness, Al. And so uh I played a little bit, but then I kind of had a falling out with the group that I was playing with at the time, way back then, right after the Warforged, the official 5e Warforged was released. And that was before COVID. That was back when I was playing in person with a group in my local game store. And I like took a break from D&D 5e very shortly after that, and I was doing Mutants and Masterminds, and then I got into Lancer, and so just like coming back to it, because in this campaign I've been able to play a Warforged, and like what that means for the world, how that fits in the setting has been really cool. My friend made this setting. The world is called Ire. And it's got all of these different like cities, and there've been these different ages in the history of the world that were like, there were different things that caused the ages to come and go, and the ages are very much defined as like what was happening, what was in control. And now is kind of like I think the age of like the people, right? The previous age was the age of machines, and before that was the age of demons, and before that was the age of dragons. And the idea is that each age is really kind of categorized by when a new group takes power. The demons, the dragons ran things, and then the demons came into the world and then pushed the dragons out and took over running the realms. And then the people eventually sought to take back control of their world and made the machines and the artifacts, and they had the artificers putting together the tools to repel the demons and end the age of demons. But then people were now using machines to wage war with each other, and there was lots of war and bloodshed and greed and destruction, and the people were blaming the people eventually came to blame the machines more than they were blaming it seemed like they were blaming the people that were controlling them. So, Alice, one thing about 5e is that it's extremely popular. And for being extremely popular, a lot of people are going to have opinions on it. And the company that makes D&D, Wizards of the Coast, not a great company. I do not support Wizards. They have done a lot of stuff that they literally work with the Pinkertons, and it's a nightmare. But D&D has a lot of a big frustration in the tabletop role-playing space with 5e is that 5e for the last, like, I don't know, decade or whatever, has been the central thing in the tabletop role-playing space. It has been D&D and then everything else. And in D&D, it has been 5e and people trying to make add-ons to 5e and doing their own stuff. And content creators and stuff were based around the tabletop space. And a lot of what happened was people were, especially when Critical Role took off, that's an actual play that is extremely explosively popular, which has some voice actors who do really great stuff, really great role play, and really great storytelling, and they use D&D 5e. And they were, especially like when COVID hit and like people were watching when they didn't have anything else, and it was a big deal for 5e to be that for people. And for indies trying to break into the tabletop role-playing space, a lot of times, if you were trying to reach tabletop role-playing gamers, that one of the first things you would have to do for making a new game was explain in what ways it was different and what ways it was similar to 5e. So like there was this extra like step that people had to do within the tabletop role-playing space of just taking the assumption that everybody was coming from 5e. And so that's why I would say it definitely is very polarizing. And then with the release of D&D 2024, it's now they've revamped so many things, and a lot of the things they've put into 2024 were things that people were house ruling anyway, and they introduced some updates and things for it. I haven't looked into all the D&D 2024 stuff, but then people got frustrated that D&D was taking up so much of the, like, I guess the space of it, of TTRPGs, when it comes to content creators, finding videos, guides, and stuff. But it became a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, because since D&D was so popular, people would, like, content creators who want to make videos that are going to get views would make videos about D&D because those get a lot of views. And those content creators are very talented and very good at what they do. And so they produce very interesting and entertaining videos that... sorry, I got distracted, Elle. It's me. Like, I mean, come on. And then, since there are more content being made with D&D 5e, that's what people started to learn more about. It's all right. See, I read a thing and then I got sidetracked. Anyway, so air, world, D&D. This is a world where there's different ages, and each of the ages is defined by something. The Age of Machines was defined by artificers making powerful weapons of mass destruction and being used in massive wars, until people eventually rebelled and drove out the artificers, and in the current age, dislike artificers. My character as a Warforged is a living artifact. And has to deal with a lot of prejudice. And a big part of his arc has been trying to change a lot of the opinion of individuals in the world and nations and cities and stuff in the world on Warforged, and to be like, well, Warforged deserve to exist. They were created by, some terrible people that were doing terrible things, but like the Warforged themselves were as much victims to a lot of the things as anyone else. But now that the Age of Machines is over, there's these Warforged throughout the realms that have stuff they need, like trying to survive and trying to hide in different communities throughout the area. And one of my character's things was he kind of did it off screen. The DM kind of said that my character was doing this whenever I took the year off of the campaign, going to a place where there had been a community of Warforged that had been hiding, that had been hunted, and a lot of them had died and been injured. And my character sought out a cleric to help with reviving as many Warforged as possible and saving as many of them. And when I was exploring a lot of this for a side thing, I made a character that was my character's little sister, a younger Warforged. And I realized that for a lot of people, when they think of constructs, when they think of machines, like golems and androids, very often androids and things get like associated with like being androgynous or being like not having gender, and I get frustrated with that because like that assumption being attached to that is based on this archaic and very frustrating idea that your gender is like tied to like your physicality. You've seen this stuff in real life before. Yeah, that is a lot of that happens. And so I enjoy playing Warforged and designing Warforged that identify as, you know, as different genders. I normally play a male identifying Warforged. And yeah, don't even get me started on the Clanker stuff. Oh my gosh. So it's frustrating because the Clanker stuff, it started as like it was effectively a slur in a Star Wars cartoon for the droids. But it became popular in, at first people were using it to like degrade like these AIs that were trying to be, that they weren't trying to be human. They're being marketed off as being more than they were. The LLMs and all that stuff. And it very quickly morphed and became attached to real world prejudices. And it just became another analog in any kind of like sci-fi setting or whatever for prejudice against robots. And in Ire, there is like a tangible, in this fantasy setting, there is a tangible reason why people dislike the Warforged and the Artificers, because they associate that with the massive weapons of war that the Artificers made and the destruction and oppression that was enforced using those tools. But it becomes about the character making their own life. And so the past week, I'd say, I have been really working on making a group of D&D characters, because I made an NPC to travel along with my character for one of these side adventures I'm doing, that I'm playing with my friend, Silva, and I was like, okay, so looking at this community and the ideals and the things of this community, what kind of other characters would there be? What kind of other adventurous individuals would there be in this? And I challenged myself, because I haven't really delved into the D&D 2024 stuff, and I do use D&D Beyond, but I have a free account. I have a friend, Silva, who's bought a lot of the stuff on D&D Beyond, and shares it. And Silva had made like whatchamacallit, campaign thing for like people to make characters in, while sharing the books and stuff. So I've been like tinkering with that. And the thing is, right, D&D Beyond is such a well-designed and comprehensive thing, right? It just makes it so easy for making characters, and it it just like it gets you ingrained in a lot of the thought processes of that. Oh, you got your motivation? All right, L. All right. So, let me introduce you to these 4 characters I made. I made them level 17, but like their level doesn't, like the specific number of their level doesn't super matter. Oh, hold up. I got my headset caught on something. Okay. The exact specifics of their level doesn't super matter. It's just that they are strong and they are capable. So let me switch over. Jeez, it's been almost an hour of me yapping. All right, let's see if I remember how to do this. That's not the button I wanted. Chrome. Hey, it worked. It worked. I remembered how to do the thing, chat. I remembered how to do the thing. I'm a real streamer. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So, let me move this down. Okay. So, all right. That's the Google Doc. So, let's look at the characters. So, I gave them all names. All of these characters are Warforged. 2 of them are male identifying. 2 of them are female identifying. And I just realized I need to use the restroom again. So I will be right back. I'm going to put it on the intermission screen, and I will be right back. And then when I come back, actually, I'm going to, yes, those are always fun, Nabiru. I'm going to run a Twitch ad while I go use the restroom. Ooh, nice. I'm gonna go to the intermission screen. I'm gonna go use the restroom. I'm gonna run a Twitch ad while I'm over there. Okay. Okay, I have returned. I think. Did Twitch run an ad? I clicked the button. I think I might have actually clicked the wrong button. Okay, so. All right, so first up, we have Hunter. Now, part of this challenge that I had for myself was each one of these 4 characters would be a no multi-classing, minimum number of feats. They would be classes that are from the base class in the player's handbook, and also they would be subclasses that were only in the player's handbook, not any of the new ones that were made after the 2014 player's handbook. But I wanted to spruce them up and improve them with new additions to D&D 5e from later books that came out, in order to improve all of these things, such as new magic items, new features, and additional things that were added to make these characters more, I guess. Oh, you're doing a whole thing in there, L. So Hunter is, you guessed it, a ranger hunter. A level 17 ranger hunter. He's a male warforged. Hey, Jesus! Interesting. So the characters are designed to fill different roles, right? I guess I'll go over the characters real quick. In just a quick overview. One other thing is each of them has at least one of the new magical tattoos that were introduced in Tasha's. I don't know, the idea of tattooed warforged just seems really cool, of like the tattoos like etching themselves, these magical tattoos etched into these warforged metal skin just seems really cool. And it was funny, I came to that as I was going through the build. So Hunter is a hunter ranger, and his whole thing, and also like the main theme of this, is the characters are very melee focused. And a lot of it was inspired by looking at my friend's campaign, that most of the player characters in that campaign, I don't know if they're teenagers, Nabiru. I thought about that too. Most of the player characters in that campaign are ranged attackers, are doing some stuff at range. So I thought about making characters that are designed to be frontline fighters, but still having ranged options and still having some kind of like special thing for a lot of them. Tattooed teenager D&D fighters from Fantasy Name Hills. Oh my gosh. So, Hunter uses a scimitar of speed in one hand and a moon sickle in the other. The moon sickle gives a bonus to his ranger spells. So he fights with meleeing with the scimitar, because the scimitar gives an extra attack as a bonus action when he uses it. But if he needs to, he can cast spells using the moon sickle as a casting device, because he can use that as his focus. But they each fill different kind of like themes and stuff. So Hunter, while being a ranger, is an urchin. And this is another thing where I like to take mechanics and feature the mechanics of the game and the numbers of the stats and the different abilities and skill proficiencies, and figure that into some of the description narratively of the character, right? So Hunter is an urchin, had to hide in the streets. I had to hide while living in the streets in society. Had to escape. Now, another thing is all of them are proficient in a disguise kit. Somehow they got a proficiency in disguise kits because they live in a world where Warforged are hunted, so they had to learn how to use disguise kits to hide themselves. So he is Hunter was an urchin, and he grew up, and I feel like it's a thing of he fills kind of this roguish role where he has a whole lot of stealth stuff, right? He's really good at stealth. He has expertise and advantage on stealth. He has expertise. He gets a big bonus to sleight of hand. He's good with disguise kits and thieves' tools. But at the same time, he's also the healer, because he's the one with the healing spells, right? And he has an herbalism. He's trained in using an herbalism kit because he also makes potions. He makes potions for his team, and the idea is that he had to grow up, he had to survive alone on the streets for so long, hiding what he was and struggling to survive. He now makes healing kits. He now makes potions to help people. Now, the only feat that I took with him was healer. He doesn't need this, but I thought it felt thematically. The idea of healer is that by having this feat, it means you are like a professional physician. And you using, like, not just magically, like, cast a heal spell, but, like, you are, like, a trained and functional, sounds like a manhwa protagonist. But having the healer, feat means that, like, you aren't just like, I cast a healing spell and you're good. You, like, know pathology and are trained in understanding medicine, and you can use regular, mundane, non-magical things. And now, mechanically, that's represented in using what's called a healing kit, which a healing kit is an item that it's a non-magical item, and normally, if someone is dying, you can use one use of a healing kit. I think they have like 5 uses, and make as an action and make a medicine check. I think it's like DC 15 or something. And if you succeed, you stabilize them where they're stable, but they're still at 0 HP. And anybody can do that, right? I think as long as you're proficient in medicine, you can do that, right? A healer is so good that I don't think they even need to, or you do have to roll for it, but you can, when you heal them, they don't just go to 0 stable. They go to 1 HP, and when they gain the HP, they're conscious, right? Or at least I think that means they regain conscious. Anyway, the other thing is, you can, as an action, use a healing kit on a creature to restore 1d6 plus 4 HP, plus additional HP equal to that creature's maximum number of hit dice. So their level, essentially. But you can only do that to each individual creature once before they complete another short or long rest. It's not so much about the mechanics, because he has healing spells, but it's about the ideology that he is a trained healer, right? He makes the medicines. And he uses, but he's also the stealthy one, right? He's the one who travels stealthily and gathers supplies. He's trained not just in the wilderness, but also in the cities. Um, and yeah, so that is him. He is a hunter, so he's good at melee and at fighting large groups of multiple enemies. Even if he's surrounded, he always has options. He's like that definition of I'm a healer, but. And yeah, he rocks a lot of capable things. Also, the Moonsicle, whenever you cast a spell that restores hit points with the Moonsicle, it heals an additional D4 of healing. So that's a little bit that makes some of his stuff just really good. So that is him. He uses the Shadowfell brand tattoo, that's a rare, so it has to cover one limb. And it allows him to see in the dark, and he has advantage on all all stealth checks. And he can, once per day, make himself insubstantial as a reaction to have the damage of an attack that he would take, or have the one instance of damage he would take. And yeah, he's the healer, who also is the thief. He's the healer who's also the thief and the sneak. So that is Hunter, the hunting ranger. So that's then there is Striker. She is a female Warforged monk. She is a soldier. Now, effectively, all Warforged were created, at least all of these ones were created during the Age of Machines to fight in a war. But I consider the backgrounds to be what they have done since the end of the Age of Machines up until the present day. She has been a soldier. She has been serving in some military, in some form of disguise, right? She is an extremely capable martial artist. She is a Way of the Open Palm monk. So she's really fast, and she does a whole bunch of stuff. And her main weapon is a staff of striking. And she has herself a Blood Fury tattoo, as well as a Dragonhide belt, which allows her to regain some of her key points, and she can use her key for special attacks, and she does a whole bunch of high-speed strikes that do a lot of damage and can just wear down opponents. With high speed, getting in and out of dangerous situations. By being able to take the disengage action and having an increased jump distance, she can get in and out. Now, also, one thing about these characters, since I said that their stats influence narrative choices, right? Hunter, high dexterity, average strength, high con, average intelligence, high wisdom, but below average charisma, only an 8 in charisma. So Hunter is the thief that doesn't so much lie to you as much as he's going to sneak around, and if you find him, there is no deception. He's just going to stab you. So that's Hunter, is like low charisma, and a bunch of them have low charisma except for the one charisma character. Striker is a soldier. She's very observant. She has high wisdom, and she doesn't take other people's BS, right? She has a really high insight, and she just does not take other people's BS. But she has low charisma. She's a gruff, very straightforward kind of person. And she's always willing to like she wants to deal with things in the most direct and straightforward way possible. Which isn't always something you associate with monks, which is why I really like about her character just being this kind of no nonsense, no frills. Like, she's wise, but that doesn't mean she's going to be spouting philosophy. It means she can see through your shenanigans, and she can call you on whenever you're just making something up. So that is that's Striker. And then there's Polar. Polar she is a female Warforged barbarian, but she's a totem barbarian. Totem barbarians have different animal totems that give them different abilities. She has one each of totems from the base book: bear, wolf, eagle, but she has them in a specific order that gives her specific abilities. And her background is that she's an artisan. She is a guardian of nature, which is why she has these animal totems, but her job in the guild that she's had to hide herself while doing with her disguise kit is making maps. She makes detailed maps of the wilderness and of unexplored regions, and she'll be hired to make maps of places and like for explorers and all of that. So she makes maps. And that is her profession. Now, she's not really like it says guild artisan, guild merchant. She is a low charisma, so she's not gonna like be trying to negotiate really big she's not going to be trying to negotiate big prices or whatever. She'll generally take what she can get if she can get a decent pay, right? And now her fighting style is a bit interesting because the feat she has is Polearm Master, which is why she's named Polar. Barbarians are known for raging. And the thing is, the bear totem, one of the things it can give is that you, while raging, because normally while raging, you are immune to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. Bear totem says you are immune to all damage except psychic damage. So she has a ring of psychic resistance, so she is always resistant to psychic damage, and when she rages, she is immune. She's not immune. She's resistant. I don't know if I was saying immune. I meant to say resistant. She is resistant to all damage when she's raging, but she uses a glaive. And she's just very simple in that she just swings the glaive really hard. Polearm Master means when an enemy comes within range of her glaive, she can get an opportunity attack when they come in, not just when they go out. And when she attacks, she can do an extra attack with the back end of the glaive as a bonus action. So she can kind of just be swinging this glaive, which has extra reach, and hit things really hard. She has an Eldritch Claw tattoo, which means if she has to punch things, if she ever gets caught without her glaive, she can still use her fists. And her fists will be magical and do +1 damage. Do an extra bonus damage because of that. But also, once per day, as a bonus action, she can activate the Eldritch Maul ability of her tattoo, which extends the reach of her melee attacks as she kind of gets these inky tendrils that come out of the tattoo that she uses to swing her weapon. So her reach becomes, instead of 10 feet, her reach becomes 15 feet. And all of her melee attacks do an extra d6 force damage. So she is going to have her rage bonus, her Eldritch Claw bonus for the Eldritch Maul, and she has the extra attacks. And I don't think there's anything that says that yes it is. And the thing is, she has this ability, a barbarian ability called Reckless Attack, which is when she does an attack, when she makes her first attack on a turn, she can decide to attack recklessly. If she does, that gives her advantage on all melee attack rolls using strength during this turn. But until her next turn, all enemies will have advantage when they attack her. Now, I was thinking about giving her a Cloak of Displacement to kind of offset that, but the thing is, Cloak of Displacement turns off for the turn after she gets hit for the first time. And her other thing is she has a Blood Fury tattoo, which is something that Stryker has as well, which is the Blood Fury tattoo. When she hits with a weapon attack, can expend a charge to do necrotic damage, 4d6 necrotic damage, and regain health equal to the necrotic damage dealt. So both Polar and Stryker can do that and heal as they hit things in combat. Which increases their durability in the fight, in the melee, right? And also, they both have the thing that when a creature that they can see damages them, they can spend a charge to use a reaction to make a melee attack against that creature, as long as it's obviously in range, and the attack will have advantage. So, she can, like, if you hit her, she can hit you back really, really hard, because one of the features that barbarians get is, well, first off, they move really fast. She can go really fast. And she has brutal critical, which is a level 17 ability that she rolls 3 additional weapon dice. So normally, when you get a critical hit, you roll 1 additional weapon dice, right? And the barbarian gets early on a thing where you can do 2 weapon dice instead of 1, and then at level 17 it upgrades to 3 dice instead of 1. I think that's how that works. So if she crits, it's going to hit like a truck, because the glaive on the front end does a d10, on the back end is a d4, but it's going to be a d4 plus the 8 from the 3 of the weapon and the 5 of the strength, and plus the 4 for being enraged, plus the d6 for, it all piles up, right? And if it works like the smite does on crits, then like piling on the Blood Fury tattoo on a crit is just like piles and piles of dice. You just delete someone. And yeah, she just deletes people. Also, a lot of this was kicked off because since I was making an NPC to join the party for the side adventure my character is doing, the DM gave me a method for calculating what magic items a character can start with, of like a point system based on rarity to calculate. And now all of a sudden I'm like, okay, so I can now build characters with magic items as part of the characters. Now, these magic items aren't mandatory for these characters, right? Everything Polar does, she could do with a regular glaive, right? She won't hit as hard, she won't have as good of reach, but she still functions. Now, she is very friendly and that she loves nature. She has animal handling, so she loves animals. She loves nature. She loves the wilderness. And oh yeah, I almost forgot. She's covered in tattoos, right? These magical tattoos. And she has the eagle ability that while raging, she can fly. She has, it's more of a jump because if she doesn't end her turn on the ground, she will start falling. But like when you're a barbarian, fall damage is kind of irrelevant. So I was talking to actually Okusen the other day and I was like, can you imagine being the enemy, right? As you just see this big Warforged that's like covered in these glowing engraved tats. And that is now flying towards you, wielding a glowing magical glaive that that she's spinning. Like that's just a moment. And Okusen was like, if I saw that, I would just assume that the end has come and the machine overlords have come for me. Oh, what did you do for L? Elliot. L. So, that's Polar. And now for the last character, Ash. Now, this one I've reworked multiple times. I've reworked all of them a few times, right? Because I couldn't figure out, I couldn't nail down specifically what I wanted him to be, right? At first, I was going to have him be a summoner of some kind, right? With a Pact of the Chain. And doing all that stuff with, like, summons. And building around his summon, right? And then I was like, I don't know. That doesn't feel... I want melee, right? I want a character that's, like, good at that stuff, right? So then I'm like, oh, wait. What if? Because I can't use Hexblade because the challenge is to use subclasses that were in the 2014 Player's Handbook. Hexblade came later. So I'm like, okay, gonna do Fiend Patron and do Blade. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. So this is a Fiend Pact of the Blade Warlock. And so one of the things was Hexblade meant that you could use your charisma for your weapon attacks. So everybody just puts like 14 in dex or whatever and dumps everything into charisma. This time, for this build, it's about instead maxing out dexterity and having charisma come a close second. So his charisma is 18 and he has a lot of the charisma stuff, but he also has a 14 in intelligence. He is the nerd. He's the intelligence one, right? He is a sage where he spent time researching the multiverse. His thing is about, he wants to learn more about the different realms and planes of the multiverse. Oh, that's cool, Al. Some kind of like traditionalist construction. So Ash is very much he's very intelligence focused, and he has almost. Ooh, does that let rain come in, L, with the walls not reaching the ceiling? Now, there is one intelligence skill that he does not have, and that is intentional, and that is religion. He doesn't mess with religion. He does politics all day, but Ash just does not mess with religion, right? And he doesn't have... if you look at his spells, he doesn't have any of the charming spells, because his whole thing is he's not going to charm you with magic. He's not going to like sway you. Oh, okay. So the roof hangs out over. Okay. He's not going to charm you with magic. Or use friends or something. He's going to sway you with his persuasion, with his devilish guile, right? As he uses his way with words to do things, right? I chose to have him have insight instead of religion, because then he can see it takes a crook to catch a crook, essentially. And I thought it'd be interesting if the one who is the deception one was not the assassin thiefy one, was not the urchin. Oh, okay, Al. But the lying one and the deception one, that makes sense. You know, the lying and deception one is the super educated sage, right? And he uses, true. But he's also like kind of an edgelord. So he's got the life well tattoo, which gives him necrotic resistance, and he has life ward. So one time when he would go down to 0, he goes to 1. But unlike everyone else, he's the only one with a stat increasing item, which is the Amulet of Health, which sets his Constitution to 19, which is what's buffing up his HP. If I take off his Amulet of Health, his Constitution's only 12 without it, and he only has 105 HP. With it, he goes up to 156. Dumbest character of this group? There's not really a super dumb one. Everybody else has a 10 in intelligence, which means average. 10 is like average human capability. Or average like humanoid capability. So everybody else has like a 10 in intelligence, but Ash has a 14. He's not like, you know, a wizard, right? But he has he's smarter than the average bear, you know. But like I debated having him get the headband of intellect to make his intelligence, but I was like, okay, it'd be interesting if it's like he could have gotten something to make himself smarter, but he wants to actually study and learn it himself, right? And he has one of his features he gets. Yes, the Wizard of Oz. One of his features he gets is Master of Myriad Forms, which means he can cast Alter Self on himself at will without using a spell slot, which allows him to physically alter his body in a variety of ways. So the main one he uses it for is he can change his appearance to make him look like any humanoid race that's or person that's roughly his size. He also has glamored studded leather armor, which means that he can spend a bonus action to make his armor that he wears look like anything. It can look like any suit of armor, any set of clothing, anything. He can make his glamored studded leather armor look like. So he can be essentially this super spy. And it's like they deal with things in, like, Hunter and him deal with things in two different ways. Whereas Hunter is going to, like, yes, Hunter is going to sneak past threats. Ash is going to talk his way through. Yes. It can look like any kind of armor or set of clothing. He can choose the color, the style, accessories, anything will just be what this looks like. Its stats stay the same. Okay, you're gonna laugh at this, L, right? So, you know how I said I want the stats to be reflected narratively, right? So, he has an 8 in strength, which is below average, right? Now, he has the lowest because the others usually dump their charisma and they took a 10 in strength, right? He has an 8, and he has the lowest con by a serious margin. Constitution reflects your, like, physical build and your ability to take damage, right? The amulet magically enhances his ability to withstand damage and repel like poisons and stuff, but I'm imagining that the amulet doesn't, like, make his body bigger, right? So if he's got low strength and low con and super high dexterity, right? Which means he's very nimble. He doesn't have acrobatics proficiency, but he's still, like, you know, very quick. I'm imagining him as the twink of the group. He is the, like, really skinny one that, like, will just be the its own being too. What do you mean by that? And when he fights, yeah, I thought you'd like that, Al. And whereas everybody else has some kind of signature weapon, right? He has Pact of the Blade, which means he can summon a weapon and make it take whatever shape he wants. And whatever weapon he summons, he will be proficient with, right? But because he doesn't have Hexblade, he's going to have to use the appropriate skill. So he's going to use dex-based weapons. So, and he has improved Pact weapon, which means that his weapons are all, whatever he summons is going to be a +1. So I just grabbed a longbow and a rapier. And he can use either of those. He can also cast spells. And he has plenty of spells that he can use for different situations. He will normally, in, like, melee, he will fight with a rapier in one hand and this Rod of the Pact Keeper in the other hand. He doesn't use the rod to attack, but he can use it as a focus for his warlock spells, and it gives him a bonus to his warlock spells, kind of like Hunter's Moonsickle, except instead of getting a bonus to healing spells, he can regain a spell slot once per day. And Proficiency bonus with Slipper. Oh my gosh. And as far as like his other magic items, he has an emerald pen, which is a pen that requires no ink to write, which in a fantasy setting is huge. And he can cast illusory script with it at will using this pen, which means he can write things as secret messages that only certain people will be able to read, right? And he has goggles of night, which allow him to have some form of dark vision. He can't see through magical darkness, but he can see through regular darkness. So like I'm imagining him normally just like having these goggles on, and like because of his alter body and his glamored leather, his glamored suit, just looking like this kind of edgelord with a glowing fiery rapier. Because when you're a pact of the blade, oh, I'm sorry, Al. When you're a pact of the blade, your weapon you summon, if it's not just a magic weapon you've turned into your pact weapon, will in some way be like changed to be reflected of your patron. And Ash's patron is a fiend. Oh, nice. So that's the 4 of them. I don't have a name for them yet, and I haven't like designed stuff. I want to go on like Hero Forge and design stuff for them. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what to call the group. Like Steel Battalion's too easy and probably copyrighted. Band of Iron. Okay. Open hand. Nice. Yeah, Way of the Open Hand. Okay. 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 Band of Iron is what we're calling them. What? Okay. And we're going to change this to title. Ooh, I'm excited, Alice. You have my attention. Oh, that seems like a problem. Whoop, 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 whoop. Let's put stuff about each of them here. Okay. And whoop, 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 whoop. 25 max HP? Okay. Actually, let me this. What is this? No, this heading to. No. Yeah, that's better. Alrighty. There's going to be where the main character gets a new team after his old teammates die. Ooh. Are you watching the current Super Sentai, Alice? Are you watching the currently airing Super Sentai Gojuger? Why? Oh, goodness, Al. Okay, so I guess kind of a spoiler. In the current season, right? The 6th Ranger, Goju Polar, was the Red Ranger of his previous team. Okay, so Gojuger, the one that's currently airing, the setting is that it is in a world where all of the Sentai are like ancient history. Like there are all of the Sentai, like there's actually a Sentai archaeologist they meet, and at some point in the ancient past, all of the Sentai fought to stop some great evil from invading, and they all had to sacrifice their power to one individual called one team that was piloting a robo called Tegasword. Hey, Noel, main. And in the Gojuger, the thing is, it has been so long that people have forgotten the teams, all they remember are the robos. They call them the Titans of Steel or whatever, right? And they don't even remember that there were people piloting them, right? And an entire religion has formed around Tegasord, because Tegasord was the one who was able to stop the invasion. And all of the previous Sentai teams, their powers were condensed into these rings. And if you have one of the rings, it can allow you to turn into the Red Ranger of that Sentai team. And Tegasord said that after scattering the rings across the world, that whoever collects all of the rings would be granted one wish, anything they want from Tegasord. And then there's the Gojujers that are an actual team of multiple different colors instead of all being the reds. Of their own team. They're not based on a previous team, and they're getting caught up in this ring war and trying to understand what it means to be a Sentai team and dealing with all of this stuff. I won't go into spoilers because it's a really good season. If you get a chance to watch it, I really suggest it. It is so intense and is going on so many cool twists. But the current 6th Sentai member, the 6th Ranger, Goju Polar, was Goju Red in the battle that took place in ancient times. He was the one who was piloting Tegasord in the final battle when all the other Sentai teams sacrificed their powers to Tegasord in order to be able to stop the monster, whatever the invasion or the evil was. And the rest of his team is just like gone. So it's actually interesting that you said that's your thing, because like that is literally Goju Polar's thing. But like he covers for it in his own way. He has his like own methodology and feelings, and the whole thing about Gojuger is about the quest to be the number one at something. And that's like a big theme of it, because everyone's trying to be the number one at some kind of a thing. Anyway, but yeah, I'm not trying, Alice, I'm not trying to undermine your idea or say or degrade your idea or devalue it at all. I was just saying I thought it was interesting that you were making that story and it had some similarities. And I thought you might find that interesting. Hey, Noel, man, I'm doing all right. I finally got a bed after years, as well as some other furniture. And just been kind of in a bit of a depressive rut, and I'm kind of just coming out the other side of it. How's my model looking? Because I'm like kind of moving around. I have so much more like tracking in my model now. It's so different. Okay, just making sure my mouth was moving on that. But how are you doing, Noel Main? How's stuff going with you? Mm. Oh, that's well. Congratulations, Noel Main, for being married. I don't know if you have always been married or whatever. But congratulations. And that sounds really rough. Like, are you doing the thing where like, you are you doing the thing where like you had like a small wedding, like a civil service, and now you have to do a big ceremony for like family and friends and stuff? Who was it? I know there was a YouTuber, I think it was Gart, Giguk, who like got married and had to do a thing where like he had to get married, he had to do like 3 weddings in like 3 different countries to like because to for like tradition or whatever, and to appease his family, and it was like some kind of like crazy stuff. But not crazy, but it was intense. That's the word. Hello, Atanshi, over there on Twitch. Good to see you. I'm not sure if I've seen you around before, but welcome to the stream. My name is Orion. I am I'm a mech pilot VTuber. I stream on YouTube and Twitch, so you can watch me wherever you're comfortable. It is great to have you. How are you doing today? I like to do story-based content. I like to think of myself as a storyteller. I love writing, tabletop role-playing games, RPGs, and I just love stories altogether. Tonight, I'm working on putting together a story around a group of D&D characters that I created that are existing within my friend's world. And I'm putting down everything that I remember about my friend's world right now. Oh, cool. Nice emotes. Oh, you consider writing a kobold story? Nice, Atanshi. Noel Man, you said kind of the ceremony is set to December and meant a smaller ceremony. We're getting more guests than expected. Yeah, it's interesting. So the thing about Japan referring to kobolds as dogs is really interesting in as a translation thing. I was watching something about it where like when they brought D&D to Japan and they were looking at the descriptors of the kobolds, there was I don't know if it was like pack tactics or what it was about them that like they were described as being like in some way similar to dogs, and for some reason that one bit was like, I don't know if taken out of context is the right word, but I think it was like supposed to describe their personality or intelligence level and not their looks, because D&D generally describes them as being like draconic. But when they were translating it to Japanese, they were like, oh, they act or they think or like dogs or whatever. So they drew them as these anthropomorphic dogs. I found out about it when I was watching Dungeon Meshi, and there was the dog, and they referred to as a kobold. And I asked someone about it, and it's like, oh, that's a thing. That's how they refer to it. And I was like, oh, okay. I was a guest on a podcast doing a review of the anime Dungeon Meshi, and that just is really interesting. Outside of that, been working more, writing a Pokemon Digimon-like RPG that's a world losing its magic and becoming reliant on tech. Ooh. Ooh, that's interesting, Itanshi. So when you say that it's a consciousness soul transfer, is that like, so basically you're saying that that princess woke up in a kobold's body in like a kobold community. Yeah, it's in the same world, right? It's not an isekai. So does that mean that that kobold soul is now in the princess's body? Because that would be interesting to be like finding out, like for her to like deal with all of this stuff and then finding out, hearing rumors about what the kobold is doing in her body. I don't know. It's your story, so go, you know, I definitely encourage you to write however you see fit. I just think that would be an interesting, like it wouldn't have to be like, you know, you cut to spend a lot of time there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely understand that shift in perspective. Hey, it's all right. Got to start somewhere. Yeah, Nabiru. Like, see, except it's not a different world; it's your own world, Nabiru. Also, Atanchi, if I ever respond and it doesn't seem like I'm responding to you, I'm responding to YouTube. I am dual streaming, so and I have both. I'm seeing. I don't know if you could see on the screen there. The chats are separate. Mhm. Mhm. More of a curse body swap thing. That's interesting. That would like. I mean, natural ending is kind of a weird, is kind of an unusual term to use for that, or like maybe not properly fitting, because I feel like the natural ending is what you, the author, crafted into or envision it as. Nabiru, that reminds me of a manhwa I was reading about like the skeleton couldn't protect the dungeon or something. Hold on, let me check on my phone. I like took a break from reading it, and because there was just so much stuff. Let me check my app. The skeleton soldier failed to defend the dungeon. Have you heard of that one? I was reading that one, and it is interesting. It's not about a person who like gets turned into a skeleton. It is about a skeleton that just gets raised from the dead. Yeah. You said, Itanchi, you said it had like 50. I'm looking at it now, and yeah, NPC skeleton discovers game mechanics. And I love how, like, when he's describing it to people, they like call it the mystical. When he's describing the system window that tells him stuff that he uses to interact with stats. There's this sage, like nobody else can see it, and there's this sage who's like, "Oh, you can see the mystic blue window, the window into the world that allows you to see the world as it, like, in ways that nobody else can, and interact with it in ways no one else can." And it's like, it's this like, it's this powerful magical thing. But from our perspective, it's like, it's a game mechanic, but it's not a game to them. Mm. Oh, that's interesting, Nabiru. Itanchi, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Star Hunters, where we shoot through the stars, have wonderful adventures, live our dreams, and always stop to enjoy the memes. I have not said that in so long. But thank you for the follow. It is good to have you. Ooh, that's interesting, Nabiru. Save and load. That sounds interesting. That's funny, Itanchi. Elf Girl is 16 as opposed to 116. Oh, you're on an ad? Okay. The inn where you can save and load. Okay. I'm making so the players have plenty of interaction with tech and the monsters. Selling on the aspect that magic is becoming outdated. It's a bit of a Star Rail inspired mechanics. Ooh, how so, Noel Main? Oh, also, I'm like tinkering with some stuff. You saying Star Rail made me think about like elements and stuff. I've been tinkering with some ideas for D&D to feature like opposed elements to like where everything would have an affinity, like how everything has an element in HSR in Star Rail, and have that innately give them certain weaknesses and resistances. And I was thinking that'd be interesting because it could add a different layer if I put like different ways for characters to gain access to different elemental magics or elemental weapons and stuff in the game. And it's basically a thing that you have an attribute. Your attribute is strong to one thing and weak to another. And so you have a weakness to the thing that you're weak to. And the thing that you're strong against is going to have a weakness to you. But also, that's how it works defensively, but it also works offensively as well. And I really like the idea I came up with this, where, if you use an attack that does damage in an element that you are weak to, your critical window, your opportunity to crit, goes down by 1. So normally you would crit at 20. So you have a crit window of 1. So then it goes to 0. So you can't critical on something that if you're making an attack with something you're weak to. But if you are making an attack with your own element, because it's your affinity, your critical window goes up by 1. So you can crit on 18 or 20. 19 or 20. And if you get other things that change your crit window, then they interact with that too, like champion from the fighter and so on and so forth. And like the Hexblade's Curse and stuff. And I thought that would be interesting to like, it rewards you for using your on element stuff, but the penalty for using off element stuff isn't like super debilitating. Which means like if you're facing a thing where their weakness is an element that is also your weakness, so you need to use a weapon that like is like, if you're facing like the same element thing, it's not super debilitating. It just means you're not gonna crit, but you still do full damage. You still hit normally. You don't have like disadvantage on all your attacks or anything annoying like that. Ooh, that's interesting, Noel Main. See, the thing is, with HSR, because you can regen skill points in combat, and because you can regen energy to fuel your ultimates, it works like a lot differently than your standard RPG, which is normally you just have a set amount of points to do things, and when you run out of said points, you're like screwed. And like that's just the thing that you have to like build around, making sure you have enough of your resource to get through the fight. And that's one of the things I like about HSR, is that it has this kind of very smooth process. Hello, Mark. So, standard answer. My standard answer for anything like that is I would make a Warforged. And as for the class, it would probably be a paladin. I think I'd probably, because I really like the mechanics of the paladin and the ideals of like an Oath of Devotion paladin, but I also like clerics. So that's kind of where I would be with that. I do also, there's one other thing that I've been wanting to tinker with multi-classes, and that's the Sorkadin. I saw one thing that was like talking about like narratively how you describe the idea of of multi-classing into sorcerer from paladin, because the idea is, as a sorcerer, it is your origin, your body that is exuding this natural ability. And someone was like, but it could be a thing that like one of the things that causes magic to awaken in someone is exposure to extremely powerful magics. So if it was a thing that someone through their devotion became a paladin, and through using their paladin powers and the magic powers that they've gained as a paladin, that it caused their own magical abilities, their own divine soul to awaken, giving them the abilities of a sorcerer. Ooh. .5 is a lot of people's favorites, Mark. 3.5 is where I started, honestly. But okay. Sidetrack here. Paladins. Okay. I saw something forever ago where someone was like, why is paladin its own class? Why is it not just a subclass of cleric if it's just a combat version of a cleric? And I'm like, no, that is not what it is at all. Or someone was like, or why isn't it a subclass of fighter as just a divine fighter? And I'm like, no, that is not what it is at all. And I think that a lot of it comes from misunderstandings of a lot of the lore or misinterpretations, because like a lot of stuff is kind of complicated with paladins, because they're really interesting to me in like the mechanics of them, right? So I don't remember if it was like this in 3.5 because I didn't play a paladin in 3.5. I played a cleric. But the idea is a paladin is a person who possesses such a powerful soul. Yeah, cleric and paladin completely different, right? A paladin is someone who possesses such a powerful soul that they can devote themselves to a cause so much that their devotion to that cause will spontaneously give them magical powers. Now, very often, that cause that they devote themselves to is some kind of faith or religion, right? So because of that, most people assume the paladin is getting the power from the deity that they swear their oath to, but that's not how that works. They're getting their power from their devotion to the, to the god, not from the god. And that's one of the things that makes an interesting distinction, like for Dragonborn, right? Where Dragonborn won't want to be... Okay, so that's how it works in 3.5? Was the paladin was the god chooses you, and the cleric, you choose your god? Okay. In 5th edition, like I was saying, it works completely differently. Where the power doesn't come from a god at all. There are paladins devoted to a crown, to a kingdom. It can be anything that you are so devoted to that your devotion enables you to interact with the weave of magic. And I think that's a really interesting concept. Like, there can be a character that's like a doting father who his paladin abilities come from his devotion to his daughter or to his family, right? And it's not the family that's giving him the power, and it's not a god that's giving him the power. It is his own dedication is so powerful that it enables him to interact with magic. But again, most commonly, the ones who, like, the causes that people are motivated enough to dedicate themselves enough to gain that power is a religion. And that concept I think is interesting because, like, so Dragonborn, in the 5e lore, they have a whole lot of issues with gods, right? And they won't generally want to become clerics, at least in the Forgotten Realms lore, because that feels like they're asking the god for power, whereas they would rather be a paladin and gain the power themselves and force a god to recognize them by the power of their devotion. A shark with a scuba helmet full of water. Oh my gosh. Yes, the smite. The big thing, the smite. Your troll character you've always wanted to make is a gnome barbarian. Ooh, that's fun. But yeah, I love Warforged. I love constructs. So if I was to play anything, it would be some kind of a construct, probably paladin. Yes. Well, they can change their spells after a long rest, but mechanically it does not involve, like, okay, so mechanically, yes, they change their spells out with at the end of a long rest in 5e. I don't remember how it is in 3.5. And paladins in 5e don't get cantrips. So they can change out their spells, but they have access to their full spell list. But they may gain additional spells based on which oath they've sworn. Well, actually, Nabaru, that could work, and that could be a thing, because like so I say devotion. There is an oath of devotion, but ideally, like, it's weird. It's weird. It's frustrating having an oath of devotion when like all of the oaths are defined by your devotion to a specific thing, right? In 5e, they do not choose a deity or a domain. Yeah. And actually, it's funny. In 5e, they don't have to be lawful. They don't have to be good either. It is just they are devoted to something. Them being their relation to religion is coincidental. I could see something like that, Nabiru. Mm-hmm. Could use an SP point, but that would make the lava. Oh, okay. So then if they run out of SP, they become vulnerable. Very interesting, Noel Main. Actually, let me get I had an idea. Oh, cool. So the players are making the monsters? That's cool. Uh, uh, okay, that sounds really fun, Noel, man. Yeah, that's kind of a weird balancing thing, Nabiru. It's like that in Lancer, too. Oh, I never kind of came up with a name for the settlement. I'm looking at the Forgotten Realms Dwarven Dictionary. Oh, that's an ad. Don't need that popping up. Ooh, Rundar. Yeah, D&D 5e does not do that. Which is, at least not that I know of, which is interesting. Where like you count as your own ally, normally, like it's a lot, sometimes they'll like specifically say it, but like it's like Yeah, I get that, Noel Main, when you have like kind of feature creep a little bit. Um, uh, think I saw a couple things that I could use. Old talk from meeting place. This one I like. For those who endure. I think I'll go with that. Full door. Yeah, that might be something to like look into, like simplifying. I need to get my old playlist back. uh uh look something up. Hey Crispy, good to see you. Hey, doing some writing. Oh, cool. What were you writing, Crispy? Oh, nice. I remember you were working on some 3D animation. All right. Good night, Noel Main. It's been great seeing you again. Nice. Uh... Ah. Mm. Hmm. Mm. Sure. Uh-oh. What happened, D&D Beyond? I was using that. Ideals. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's not stealing if I need it more than you. I think I got everything here. Okay. That is Hunter. Ash. Let's jump over to Ash. Look at these background things. I think these things actually help a lot with like describing things. Excuse me. Ash likes a good mystery. Beauty is an interesting concept for him. That's actually an interesting one. So what I'm looking at here is ideals of like either knowledge, beauty, logic, and I think the other ones are not really what I'm looking for, but I like beauty for his ideal. What is beautiful points us beyond itself towards what is true. So he's looking for the beauty in the world. He's been looking for an answer to a question, some kind of a, probably something like, does he have a soul? Flaw. Overlooking, okay, I like that. Overlooking obvious solutions in place of so yeah, his question is Ooh, what if it's not Warforged focused? What if it is, what is a soul? What if he's motivated to find what is a soul? Mm. Hmm. Mm. Mhm. What would I say he promised his patron? His patron's a fiend. Now the fiends would be representing the age of demons, which the age of machines ended. The demons are seeking to come back. Drone is trying to get the resplendent corona in order to ensure that if the demons come back, that it protects it as many people as possible. Um... Overlook obvious solutions for complicated ones. Relocated. I just named the place and I forgot the name. Full door. All right, now for polar. Whee, okay. Background. Perfectionist, yeah. Not a snob. Like to talk at length about the profession. Cartography. Okay, so she's a guild artisan. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, does Polar have survival? Because it'd be really silly if Polar didn't have survival. I was like, wait a minute. I'd be really silly. Like, yes, a map maker without survival. Okay. Mm. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I just had a realization. I'm going to change her name from Polar to Polaris. Which is like North Star, which is used for guiding, and she's a cartographer. Okay. What did Ash have inventory wise? Oh my gosh, it's after midnight, chat. How many words have I written tonight? 1,700 words tonight, chat. Jeez. Almost 1,800. I remember when I used to do like 2,000 in a night, but gotta build back up. I'm actually gonna call it here, chat. I'm feeling a bit tired and a bit hungry, and I realized that like for like the last like hour or so, I haven't really been talking. I've just been like writing because I've just been in the zone, and I'm really sorry about that. Let me switch over to just chatting. Thank you, LeMay. Yeah, it's my first time writing in like months. So it has definitely been something. Thank you all for coming. It's good to see you all. I'm hoping to get back into the rhythm of streaming more often. And I'm gonna look into doing some excuse me, that was disgusting. Some retooling of my model now that I have more advanced tracking, and figuring out what to do about my character's eyes, because I probably need to go back and look through that and see what kind of faces I'm making. Because oh my gosh, my model's like tweaking out. I gotta fine tune the tracking on this. Anyway, thank you all for coming. I want you to know that I believe in each and every one of you, and I love all of you. I want you to know that I think that you are wonderful treasures of human beings, and each and every one of you makes this world a better place by living in it in your own unique way. You matter, your feelings are important, and this world is better for having you in it. Thank you for coming to my stream. Thank you for being a part of my life, and thank you for facing each new day. And I will see you when I see you. So, good night, everybody.